Hey y'all, HH-BlueDynamite here, back again for another Hazbin Hotel video. It has been a while, I know it has, courtesy of my, some family that was coming back to, living in the same house and all that. Not only that, there's been a toddler that's been running around. Hooray for the world of anthood, I guess. No, I'm just joking. I love being an aunt. I love my niece, but I usually feel very self-conscious about when I do stuff like this, 'cause I'm kind of a hermit every now and again. So when people start hearing me talking alone, that usually prompts somebody to ask me, "Hey, are you okay?" So yeah, that just makes me feel a little bit more self-conscious about doing stuff like this. But I'm back, and it's a Hazbin Hotel video, obviously. You guys seen the thumbnail. And it's about, the form of sinners, essentially. According to series creator Vivzy Pop, it's no coincidence that the sinners of hell, their forms mean something. Like, the forms they take on, it's not a random chance. There's some meaning behind it. The creature that each sinner is turned into when they become demons are associated with their human life, or as Viv puts it, individual, individ, individual reflections of their souls. Unlike Hellborns, where their forms are more hereditary, the forms of sinners reflect themselves, so it's actually not randomized. In this video, I'll tackle the various forms we see from the named characters. This one is more or less confirmed, at least for Angel's family. The spider forms of Angel and his family represents their mob life when they are alive and their web of crime. Despite Angel being no longer part of the family business, his involvement with Valentino could still be Angel's web that he's got himself entangled in. Zistiel is another spider demon, though obviously different from the Angels and his family. Through this and the fact that he is part of Lucifer's inner circle, I'd like to believe that he runs the black market, possibly both in life and in hell. That is, if he is a sinner. Is he? Has it been confirmed? Or a hellborn? And also not just the whole black market thing, but also the probably hell's version of the dark web. Get it? Don't be doing that though. Don't go into the dark web. From what I understand, it's a very unsafe place, probably. The Hazbin Hotel Wiki categorized Katie Killjoy as a spider demon. And TV tropes kind of think she's probably more like a cicada because of the sounds that emit from her, the chatter? I'm not sure exactly what you call like the sound of a cicada. And while I do take certain things on the wiki with a grain of salt, when you see Katie go into her demonic form, two extra pair of appendages emerge from her, effectively giving her 8 more limbs, giving her 8 limbs. You know, the arms you always see, her legs, and now those 4. So I think she's more like a spider demon rather than like maybe like a cicada demon. Female spiders tend to be bigger and aggressive, more bigger and aggressive than their male counterparts. Katie is a domineering and self-absorbed woman who sleeps with a lot of men and maybe even mooching off her lovers. And I mean, look at her. While both Vaggie and Valentino are moth demons, they clearly have different reasons for their forms. Valentino, he's a monster. Let's just get that out of the way. He is extremely tall and very intimidating. As for his animal representation, there are breeds of moths that are toxic, and Valentino has been proven to be a toxic person towards Angel and somewhat Fox. Also, there's that cute little cartoon thing you probably would have seen that whenever somebody was, want to get some money from their wallet or from the pockets of their pants, you see a little moth fly out, indicating that you have no money. So it's kind of funny in the fact that Valentino also financially abuses Angel and possibly his other sex workers. Maggie is a little bit more tricky. Her more human appearance, something rare apparently, says that she has more human problems than most sinners. I'm not 100% sure of what that means, but I hope maybe somebody might tell me that, because that's kind of confusing a little bit. Or maybe I'm just not thinking well enough about it, but As for her moth aesthetic, moths are attracted to a flame, which may be a reference to Vaggie being attracted to Charlie, but I feel there's more to it. Moths are attracted to the light of the flame, which can spell disaster to the moth if it gets too close. Perhaps this means Vaggie had, or has, a tendency to be drawn to something that could potentially be danger to her. Maybe it's like the thrill of the danger, kind of like, how girls like bad boys because of that thrill. Or maybe, like in her case, she likes bad girls because of that thrill, and maybe that thrill kind of got her in trouble. Maybe that's what killed her. I don't know, that's just a thought. That's just a theory. A has-been theory. I'm done. I regret not bringing this up in Nifty's theory video, but someone else did so. What was that person's name? What was that channel called? Charles J. Thomas. Charles J. Thomas. He's the one that pointed out about Nifty's appearance. Y'all please go check him out. Again, it's Charles J. Thomas. Y'all check out his channel. Y'all check out his videos. It's freaking awesome. But going back to my own video. In the Odyssey, the one eye of the Cyclops represents having a single perceptive view. How I would interpret this was that Sinner Cyclops have a sense of tunnel vision or a one-track mind and refuses to think outside the box. Cherry loves to fight and blowing things up, which is how she handles afterlife's problems and maybe her previous life too. Nifty seems to be stuck in the 1950s view of the ideal woman and sexism. Izzy is tricky in that we know nothing about him, but he may have or had a single perspective. Why is that word so hard to say? Perspective as well. As I mentioned in his character analysis video, Serpent's form is a karmic form. Cobras, by association, are the most dangerous snakes to come across, but they're not. That title actually belongs to the inland taipan. Cobras brandish their hoods to make themselves appear bigger and intimidating out of fear, not confidence. They make themselves seem more superior than what they really are. Kind of like Serpentius and his inventions. Alistair's form may be karmic as well. He was a killer in life, perhaps even a cannibal. So what better punishment for a predator by making them prey? As for the possible Wendigo skinwalker aspect, it may be a reference to the fact that Alistair was a hunter of sorts and maybe, again, cannibalism. Kathy Pryor, somebody who I'm aware of, like, at least online friends with on Twitter, I think it was her that said this, that it's very possible that Alistair may have just been a cannibal in hell rather than in his life, like his living life. And that is true. So there's a good possibility that Alistair may have not been a cannibal in life rather than in hell. But that's just up for some speculation. Dolls represent childhood, so an abandoned doll tends to represent lost innocence and like. Did something happen to Velvet in her childhood that made her who she is now? I mean, she's kind of, apparently she's crazy. Like, she's the Harley Quinn of the bunch. It just occurred to me that her best friend is Vox, and Vox's ideal voice is Mark Hamill. The Joker, Mark Hamill. Go figure. Vox was an enigma for me to crack for a while, but I think I finally thought of something. I believe that Vox was a television host in life, to mirror, Alistair being a radio host, so why not make Vox a TV personality, TV host? When on air, he represents himself as an easygoing and friendly host to his audience. When off air, however, he is cruel and vicious towards his employees and maybe even guests. By definition, a television personality is a person who is known to the public primarily through their appearances on television. Perhaps there is more to Vox behind his smart screen. Husk is the most bizarre. A cat with large wings and a tail that looks like something from a feathered dinosaur. I'm not going to attempt to name it. It's hard to name it. I guess I can understand the cat thing that, as Amy Farrah Fowler would put it, they are the epitome of indifference. And I would know that since I'm a cat mom of 3. And they don't care unless something bothers them. Other than that, they just don't give a hoot. And while that may be the case again with Husk, but why the wings? Why was he given wings? Wings symbolically represents freedom, but Husk is a lazy mofo and hardly flies, so maybe this means that the wings are there as a rhetorical choice for him. A choice he decided to forego due to laziness and, again, emphasizing his indifference. There are so many different types of sinners in Hazbin Hotel, from the most simplistic, like the Cuphead looking guy, to the more abstract, like those Western dudes with the guns in the chest. The more monstrous a demon appears to be, the more, monstrous that they are. More human-looking sinners is apparently something rare, but we do see characters with a more human appearance. Vaggie, Rosie, Mimsy, Franklin, Velvet, and even Alistair. The more human a sinner looks, the more human their problems are. And again, I'm not entirely sure what that means. Like, it's so interesting to ponder about, because, I mean, those characters, like Alistair and Vaggie, they're so drastically different. So, what's the human problem? Maybe it's more that, like, the more monstrous a person looks involves their crime. Like, say, that Ohio dude, he murdered his wife just out of rage because his ego got hurt. Boo-hoo. Maybe that's, like, the difference. Whereas, I guess for the more human-looking characters, it's more ambiguous. It's more complex than, say, those more monstrous-looking sinners. So it's very interesting to look at because, well, I mean, Angel has a bit of a human issue too. Oh man, that's gonna be hard to think about. I probably need to save that for another video. I do have a question when it comes to the sinners with that have animal appearances, like say Angel a spider versus Tom Trench's mask, right? So the question is, are they tethered to their respective animals' traits? I would like to say yes, as there are examples. Sir Panchus has a venomous bite that he uses as a last resort, which is common in venomous snakes, as it takes a lot of energy and effort to inject the venom. Valentino seems to follow certain Instagram accounts that has something to do with light and moths are attracted to light. Now, I have heard somewhere that Instagram stuff are kind of considered non-canon. Although certain posts for Hell of a Boss, it's so confusing because you get this one post about with these eels, and then you see those same eels in the first episode. So, what's the correlation? So, what's canon, what's not canon? So I'm just gonna say, like, yes, Valentino's attracted to light. That's one way to beat him, I guess. Alistair froze in place when Veggie pointed her spear at him, like a deer in headlights. Of course, Alistair wasn't afraid of Vaggie, just cautious of the spear before he saw her as just amusing. And Husk apparently likes mozzarella cheese. And Katz apparently likes cheese. I should have known that with one of my cats. I definitely thought that was odd, as my cats don't care much for human food, but one of them did like to lick Cheeto cheese dust. And I've seen a lot of fan works with characters having little choice of to give into their animal urges, like Husk getting spooked by a cucumber and chasing a laser pointer, and Alistair shedding his antlers. Oh, that would be horrific to watch. Because I've seen what that looks like, and it looks like a gore fest. I would like to see something like this, as it could be a punishment in of itself, as most animals run on their animal instinct are sometimes enslaved by it. And that's it on this video. I am so sorry this took so long. I'm actually thinking about just putting Ruby on the back burner, just due to I'm getting a little bit more stressed about it. Like, not that... Can we just go back to Sunshine Lollipops with some of these shows? Oh, goodness gracious. Recent events in Ruby is kind of like, it's not bumming me out. Obviously, it's just high-octane stuff happening. Oh, lordy have mercy. Although, well, I want to focus more on the things I'm more interested in, like, say, Hazbin Hotel or Hell of a Boss and My Hero Academia. A video of that will be coming up next week, Thursday. And again, like the next Hazbin video would be next week too, obviously. Because I'm gonna try and get these videos ready in advance, because again, I'm a little again, self-conscious about when I do stuff like this, and well, with someone like me, when I get really invested in something, I rather focus my energy on that, and like I said, right now, it's stuff like this, stuff like My Hero Academia, and even My Hero Academia, like, even that had just got off a very stressful arc. Still kind of stressful due to what happened after said arc, but I do want to still keep going with that at least, because again, I'm in the My Hero Academia craze, and that's all I had to say. Please leave a comment and down below, and subscribe and like if you haven't done so already. I hope everyone has a blessed day, and please stay tuned for more. Thank you.